welcome to MS4, and today I'm going to be trying out for you my favorite Charlotte Tilbury products. Now I have some unpopular opinions, but sometimes that's why you watch my channel, just to find out what strange things are brewing in my head. So today I'm going to be talking about all of the products that I love of Charlotte's, mentioning some of the ones that I haven't gotten to work for me, and then basically making a pretty end of summer kind of look out of all Charlotte products except for my setting powder. Okay, let's get started. Now for base products. I recently got the Airbrush Flawless Foundation, and I got it through Ipsy in shade 3. And this is a neutral, so this is 3 neutral. And I tend to be warmer, but this is not too far off, and it actually worked out perfectly because 2 of the products that I love from Charlotte are the Unisex Healthy Glow Tinted Moisturizer, and everybody knows this bad boy. And as you might notice on this, I have a darker shade of this. I have this in shade tan, and that's shade 5. And I got this shade on purpose because if I'm going to wear it by itself, I want it to look a little bit more like my skin tone and a little bit more just bronzy glowy. And so because this has a little bit of a base to it, it does nicely all by itself if I just want a little bit of bronzy, healthy, summery sort of a look. I can also use it to cut this, which is a heavier, more full foundation, and it's also a little bit more matte, and some days I love that. I love having that flawless matte sort of a look, but a lot of times it's a little heavy just for day to day. So you know, I like to cut my Charlotte with other Charlotte, which is no less expensive, but I am not at all interested in the e.l.f. Dupe for this. For one thing, because what I like about this is the very light texture of it, how it's a little less, as far as that goes, pigment heavy. It's got some pigment, but the e.l.f. one seems to have a little bit more pigment. I have the perfect shade of this, and also this is going to last me so long. I've had this for a long time. It's still going strong. I think maybe I'm around here somewhere. But I'm not getting close at all to panning this, but I love how thin, sheer, but a little bit of coverage and that beautiful bronzy glow that I get from this color. If I had gotten a lighter shade of it, it would be more like a highlighter, but in this case it's a little bronzy. Now this is what I'm going to start out with, is the Healthy Glow. I'm almost out of this guy, but I have a backup. Tells you how much I love it. The backup I got, Sephora last year was doing 20% off of foundations for just a limited time, and they considered the Tinted Moisturizers a foundation, so I got 20% off of it. But this is the Unisex Healthy Glow, so we're going to start out with that. I will remove my spectacles. Now the nice thing about this is it's both got the moisture to it. It's a little bit thicker of a moisturizer, but not too bad. Hear that? Getting to the end of it. Okay, so now if you're a lot paler than me, this may have too much pigment to it. If you're a deeper complexion, it won't show up as white, but it'll just show up like with the moisturizer and a little bit perfecting on the skin. Has the Charlotte Tilbury smell, which is not bad. It's light in this product. It's not very heavy. So it just smells a little bit like with the Magic Cream and things like that. Now the Magic Cream itself is too heavy for my skin at this point in time. I have on my list for the holidays, I'm going to try and find a set with the light one and the serum, and hopefully they'll have a set. That is one thing that over the holidays, and this Unisex Healthy Glow, you do want to rub it in because that gets the pigments all working. During the holidays, Charlotte does a number of little gift sets that are great try-me's. They're great gift sets to give to other people, but they're also great ways to get to know the brand and different items in it, because it's not all hits for me for Charlotte Tilbury, so it's better for me to get a try-me and see if I love it and then go from there. All right. And this, because it's a moisturizer, I can take up a little bit more into the eye area, so I'm not having to use a concealer. Okay, so here we are. Now I'm gonna use some different products. I'm gonna use the cream bronzer, so we're not gonna powder yet. We're gonna start with our cream bronzer. This is my Pirate Treasure, my lovely Charlotte Tilbury cream bronzer. So we're gonna use that. And I am using the, let's see where, there, what, my Yenza bronzer brush. And I'm using this more like a contour. We're gonna come in with a little more in the powder, in more of a bronzer. But we're gonna go ahead and use this. This is shade 1. And I've started applying my bronzer a little bit higher than I normally would and stopping a little bit sooner coming in here. Because although sometimes I like the chiseled look, and especially if I'm doing Zoom calls where people are just looking at me straight on, in real life you're gonna see all of my face and the movement, and as my face changes shape over time, I'm just wanting to put it a little bit higher. Okay, so I'm gonna move that into the jawline and up into the hairline. Exciting stuff. And I'm moving over here. I adore this cream bronzer. I like the color of it. I like the feel of it on the skin. It is creamy, but it has some heft to it, some body, so it's not just slick, and then it powders down. Lasting staying power. It just feels really lovely, and the shade 1 is perfect for me. Okay, going down a little bit into the jawline. Okay, feels good. Now I'm going to apply a quick lip color while we're doing other things. This is the Collagen Lip Bath. Speaking of the holiday sets, I got a set of 3 minis of this over the holidays, and I fell in love with the formula. It's a little bit minty, not, you know, it's not at all uncomfortable on the lips. You can't even hardly tell that it's, you know, as far as the feel of it. It just feels nice, cool, and refreshing. And the collagen does a great job as far as the plumping and the juiciness of it. This color here is Peachy Plum. But I did try it first in a Try Me, and those little guys I still have, and they're sitting on my work desk. That way I can just pop some on if I want a little minty refreshment during the day. But this is a great peachy tone, and the collagen is gonna just, you know, help our lips feel soft and plump too. Little heart-shaped doe foot. So I could just wear this on its own, but I have other colors that I want to show you here in a minute, so we're just putting this on while we play. Okay, so now I can go ahead and powder. Now I'm going to use my Wander foundation. I'm trying to finish my pan up of this. I've started. I've got a nice little did, and I'll show you. They have a cover for it, and they have a pad, but if you can see that, I'm hitting pan. Now I don't use the Charlotte Tilbury setting powder, and I know people are gasping at home going, why not? It's fabulous. I ended up actually getting a mini size of that because I did want to see if I liked it better than other things that I was using. And it was a good powder, but it wasn't hands above the powders that I use currently. So I'm just like, you know, I have 4 billion powders. I'm just going to finish up the powders that I have. And if I should happen to pick it up later, I know she's got the new powder coming out. And I might see about that. See if that one has a brightening presence to it that I would like more. But for right now, that's one of the things that I decided, of all the things Charlotte, I just didn't really need to pick up the powder. So we're gonna set. I like this Wonder powder. I like the fact that it has a cover for the sponge, not the sponge, but the little applicator that it comes with. So if you just needed to touch up and then you wanted to set this on top, it wouldn't be sitting directly in your powder, which I think is fantastic. This powder also has a great way of opening the compact that's super easy for people with hand issues. So this is a powder I may end up repurchasing after I go through some of my other powders. Like I said, I have a lot of powders. So here it is. So I close this. The pad can sit on top of that, and it closes. And see, to open it, this is one of those where you push down and it pops up. So it's really, this is the Wander Beauty powder foundation. All right, so next, this is one of my first things that I tried from the line and my favorite. This is my mini. This is your Filmstar Bronze and Glow. Just a really pretty bronzer and a pretty light highlighter. So I'm going in and just softening up my contour, adding a little bit more color to my face. And just softening all the edges. Okay, and then I'm gonna put, and I'm doing my highlighter before my blush because I wanna try and meld things together and have my blush, which is going to be a matte, go on and show without the shimmer on the blush. But I want this to have just a light connection before it. So now blush, this is where I get into the unpopular opinions more so. The Chic to Chic blushes, I have not been able to find a great match for me and things I like. They're either too dark, too light, or too shimmery, and the wands are too metallic, and some of them are ones that I like inside, but if I go out into the sunlight, they're so sparkly. You know, and so I'm like, I haven't found something I love. Now I have my eye on the new blush, the quad coming out with the 2 blushes and the 2 highlighters. Got my eye on that. I'm gonna be swatching that in store and seeing if the colors work, because that may be my answer to finding a blush from Charlotte that I love, which I have not managed to do yet. So we're gonna cheat that. So for the eyes today, this is the Easy Eye palette for the Charlotte Darling. And what I'm gonna do, this helps my look be a little more monochromatic and matching. I'm gonna be using one of the eyeshadows as blush. So this is the big excitement of it. So with the Charlotte Tilbury, the eyeshadows, these are things that are made, they're not going to be a bold color statement. They're going to be shimmery or sheer or pretty on the eye or look great for people with aging eye skin, things like that. But what we're gonna do on this one with the Charlotte Darling, we're gonna use this shade right here for blush. Now, if you have a fan brush, you can use that. What I like to do, this is just my bare minerals brush, is just a pinch and get it on the brush, and then you can tap it out on your hand if you're worried about things getting too dark too fast. But anyway, so I'm gonna take the lighter matte shade on my brush. Okay, I don't know if you can see that or not. Okay, but then I'm gonna start right here and then spreading it out. And again, pinch into the product, and if I wanted to make sure that it was, I could tap it out. Okay, then do it on the other side. And I just want to make sure that when I'm using this, I'm using a clean brush. Okay, there you go. So I love this color. I think it's pretty, and it's also going to be matching my eye color and going with that, so we're adding some cohesion to the eye look. So then I'm taking my Luxie 239, this is the Precision Shader, and I'm going back into my Charlotte, and I'm going to use that same color I used for my blush in my crease. Now you could use a fluffy brush for this, since it's your crease color. And I'm coming up a little higher and blending out, but I do want that color read. Okay, so in my crease and then coming up a little bit with it. Okay. I'm gonna add a little bit more on this side. Okay, now I'm going to take the second to the last color, this one here, and just deepen my crease and come up a little bit with that. And then I'm going into the darkest shade for the outside, and then I'm going to do a little bit of under the lash, under my lash line. But I will go in with a liner, so we're gonna do a liner also. Okay, and then on the tip of my brush, the darkest shade. Okay, and then you can go back into the second to the darkest shade and just warm it up a little bit. Okay, and then going to take the peachier shade, the light shimmer, and use my finger and just tap that. Okay, and do the other side. Okay. And then I'm going to take the very lightest shade on the corner. Okay, so now I'm going to quick use a liner. This is the Walk of No Shame liner. And I like it because it's the kind of a reddish brown, but it's very like a subtle color. So I'm just going to use a little bit of that. Okay, now I'm going to use some mascara. And I also am not using the Charlotte Tilbury mascara. I'm going to be using my Better Than Sex. I don't love the Charlotte Tilbury mascara, although I might try the colored mascara here coming up. Okay, and I'm going to be sharing with you then my lip color that I'm in love with currently. This is the Island Dream. This is the limited edition. Now I find with Charlotte, actually her lighter colors don't do as well for me as her deeper color does. So even though I'm in the light skin tone, her deeper colors tend to work better for me. So this is Island Dream. All right, So there you have it. There is my favorite for now, Charlotte Tilbury. I am looking forward to trying different things from the line, but so far, so good. So I'll probably come back later in the year after I find out about the new Charlotte face quad with the blushes and the highlighters and let you know my thoughts. But for now, this is my favorite Charlotte. Hope you guys are having a great day, and we'll talk to you in the next video. Bye-bye.